Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks. Over the last couple of days, I've made this design, then I came up with a new one that's maybe even actually easier and I think just as cool. You can do it in like that or just like that. But I started out with a triangle. So I'm going to take my polygon tool, set on six-sided, then I'm going to hit P. And then I've kind of learned this. Now I'm going to mirror it. It doesn't show that it does anything, but when I put it to a six-sided or a three-sided, it's mirrored, because if I center it and then flip it later, it's going to be off. So that's the true center of the page. You know, Corel thinks it's right there. And if we take, just to kind of prove a point, if we go from there to that node, from node to that node, and node to that node, Corel thinks the center is there and the true center is there, and that's why we do it. So I'm going to take an ellipse now, and I'm going to hit P. See how I'd put it right in the center? And then I'm going to take away these lines. So something like this, when it's hard to, maybe select those lines, you could set your nudge factor on like 15, and you could take your triangle and nudge it out of the way, take your circle and nudge it out of the way, and then you could delete these. Because if you nudge right back, you're right back where you were. Now I'm going to do kind of the same thing, but we're going to do it like totally different. I'm going to get like right there on that node and go way over there. Now this time I'm holding down the control button and I get a more of a perfect spear. And you can see, and that could cause you problems, but we can just delete that. That could cause you problems when you fill it. Control D, alternate C, click on it and see it's rotating from there, and then just rotate that same line somewhere like in there. That's not very pretty. That's a little bit better. But if you tried to smart fill this right now, but I want the triangle shape. I don't want anything outside the triangle. So then what I kind of figured out to do is fill that in. Now we can get rid of our triangle because we're going to have good points. You know what? I've got a little bit of and it will not affect it. I got a little rough spot. So I'm just going to delete it. And there's actually another line there that I forgot to delete. So don't have to weld it because it's all one piece, but Control D, alternate C, and rotate it 120 degrees. I must not have Control C on it. Or alternate C. I said Control C, it's alternate C. Well, Control D, alternate C. There, see, there it goes. It's in the right position, 120 degrees. Now, what I like about the triangle is we can do this right here. Now, I didn't get all my color on here. I'm going to left click, right click, and I'm going to group that together. And then I'm going to Control D. I'm going to make this thing 6 inches across. Whoop. I had to copy. So I'm just going to make it 6 inches with the top part with my ratio locked. And then I can change my nudge factor to 6. And we can take this and go Control D, Control D, Control D, Control D. Now, what's I think so cool about this, Control G to group it. I actually hit Control D. Control G to group it, Control D to duplicate it, and mirror it. Now, it should be 3 inches. So we can grab that and nudge it down. Look at that. Now, at this time, if we're concerned about the lines like we were in the other ones, we could go ahead and delete these interior lines. These are actually a little bit easier, a little bit bigger. I'm not going to worry about smart filling them. Hopefully it'll work. Well, you could smart fill them. I have a little bit of trouble. I'm trying not to take away anything extra. But now let's group all this together, Control G. And I'm going to make this thing with my ratio locked is the key. Make it 6 inches, change our nudge factor back to 6. And you know what? Why don't I take away the line? Let me take away the out. Well, maybe it'll let me cut. Nope, not yet. So Control G, Control D, and then nudge it down. It's basically 3. And, you know, then you could mirror it if you wanted to, up and down, just depending on what shape you want in the center. I think this looks better. And then you could grab them all, and you'd want to, if this is the point before you do anything, you'd want to take away that line, maybe even that line. So that way we won't have any center lines that show up. I don't know why it's not cutting the whole line. It's just one of the problems. And I'm pretty sure I'll be able to smart fill this. If we can't, we'll just turn them all from an object into color. See, I can't, that line is a little bit off. There's open spot. You know what? I can just fix it right now. But then whenever you fix it, you need to smart fill it. So what we could do now is go ahead and let's group this together, Control G. Let's take the smart fill tool, still set on black, fill that in, and then go ahead and fill in all the void spots. And so now you got like white circles. See, if I hadn't have fixed that leak, it would have leaked throughout the page. Now what I would like to do is move this one out of the way, maybe twice, and grab our outline and take it away. And then put this back. So you've got a completely different, you know, look, and you could just keep doing that over and over and over downhill. And then if you wanted to cut off these corners, just Control G to group it. I'm going to go ahead and hit P, put it in the center of the page. And I'm going to take a rectangle from about there to there, move this in, move this down. And because it's a group, we can intersect it. And now you have a block. And if you wanted to, just like we did yesterday, you could take that. I'd go and fill it in. Let's fill it in with that purple. Nudge it down. Object, order, back a page. And look at that. So they're really not white anymore. They're purple because you can see through it. And just like yesterday, since we've got the purple selected, I'm going to take away the outline. Since we got the purple selected, we could do the interactive fill tool and you could completely change it up. Let's do, I like my red and yellow. Anyway, hope that gave you an idea or two, and thank you for watching.